Over the last decade, if not longer, brandy brands, and especially cognac, have been doing a lot of work to open people's eyes up to the category. In generations past, brandy and cognac was always seen as a neat sipper, but now brands are really keen to showcase what this special spirit can actually do. So before I dive into a whole series of brandy cocktail videos, let's take a look at the simple ways that you could be enjoying your brandies, your cognacs, your armagnacs, your Calvados, and much more. Hello brandy lovers, welcome back to the channel. But for those of you that are joining me for the very first time, then let me take a second to introduce myself. My name is Steve the Barman, bartender for nearly 30 years, brandy lover for 25 years, rum lover for 25 years. But my thing with brandy is that I've never properly deep dived, and that is what this channel is all about. This is charting my brandy journey. So if you want to join me and learn as we go along, then I'd love it if you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. But also don't forget, I do have 5 other YouTube channels these days as well, mostly rum, but there is a cocktail channel as well. All those links will be in the description below. So to start, let's take a very quick broad overview of brandy. And yes, I have got my coffee out here because it's really cold out here tonight. Essentially speaking, and of course there are exceptions to this rule, but the younger the brandy is, the more it's geared towards mixing. Simply because the younger the brandy, the fruitier it's going to be. It's not going to have time to mellow and sort of age out with all those wood barrels. So it is more inclined to be mixed and sipped neat. Generally speaking, people that want to sip brandies want a longer age, a VSOP at the very least, but an XO if not longer. And let's be brutally honest, that's absolutely no different to rum or whiskey. You know, rum and whiskey fans are all about the heavily aging. If you follow me on my rum journey, you'll know that I'm actually not. I do like younger spirits, but that is slightly different with brandy. Now, I think if we're going to start anywhere, it's probably right to start with long drinks. And by far and away, the best, in my opinion, and probably the most popular way to drink brandy is actually with your ginger ale of choice. Now, I will always be a Schweppes Canada Dry stalwart. I love it. It's, for me, it's light years above like Fever Tree and stuff like that. I like Fever Tree for other things, but not necessarily their ginger ale. The Schweppes, they were inventors of bubbles, and that's where the flavour and stuff was. So for me, simple brandy and ginger is one of the best highballs that you'll ever have, especially with brandy. And that is absolutely delicious. You don't lose the brandy at all. The ginger definitely complements the brandy that's in there, that sort of light grapiness, the fruitiness that comes off there. Ginger is superb for that. But let's not discount Coke either, or cola, Pepsi, or whatever you've got. Because to a lot of people, and I think I've got this right in the US as well, like Hennessy, Henny and Coke, I think is a big, big serve. So you cannot discount your favorite cola. But for me, it will always be brandy and ginger. But I would actually give you another third alternative to try as a highball as well, because actually, as much as I'm not a massive tonic fan, brandy and tonic actually does work rather well. Now, if you relate this to gin, this is my theory. If you relate this to gin, taking the juniper out of the side, you know, especially in Great Britain, you know, gin is most popular. The flavoured gins are more popular than anything else. They outsell everything, like your raspberry, your fruity gins, your rhubarb gins, all that sort of stuff. It's the fruitier notes. Now, brandy has got, especially like a VS or a VSOP, have got those really lovely fruity notes. So for me, I do think a tonic water works really well. Now, I'm not a huge Fever Tree fan, but I would actually say the one thing Fever Tree do really well is something like their Mediterranean tonic water. Their Mediterranean tonic water, for me, with a brandy, is actually quite delicious. But all that said, you ain't ever getting me away from brandy and ginger, because for me, I actually prefer brandy and ginger over rum and ginger all day long. Now, with the highballs out of the way, we can talk about some cocktails. And yes, as I've said, there will be a whole series of cocktail videos showcasing what brandy can and can't do. And I'm looking forward to diving into that. That's coming sooner than you think. But classic brandy cocktails, some of those are just phenomenal. And I've listed them here because I know I'll forget if I'm trying to do this off the top of my head. But some of the ones you've got to think about. On the office one, brandy sours and pisco sours. Pisco sour, don't forget pisco is a brandy. Pisco sours are really, really popular, especially over in the Americas and places like that. So you've got the sours, the brandy sours. We've got the sidecars, the daisies, the view cars, the brandy Alexander with chocolate and cream, between the sheets, cobblers, smashers, and then of course the big player in this, which I'm not a huge champagne fan, but actually this cocktail does change it for me, and that is the champagne cocktail, the brandy, the sugar cube with a bit of Angostura bitters topped up with champagne or Prosecco champagne. That's actually really delicious. And I think the final way we should be talking about how to drink brandy is that stereotypical way. Neat. But there is something about sipping brandy neat that I want to emphasize in this video, because if you go back to when I started bartending, and this will probably go to the 80s as well, but the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, you know, brandy, it was only really seen served up in a smallish brandy snifter like this, and kind of cup your hands around it to warm it up. Now, yes, that is a great way to drink brandy, but don't think that is the only way you can drink brandy neat. I mean, heck, just on the brandy snifters alone, they've doubled the size. That's over a pint, you know, and you go to the high-end bars and that's how they would serve brandy neat. But if you chat to people like Alexandra Gabriel, for instance, that has Maison France, you know, actually people like that, blenders, brandy connoisseurs, actually really do like sipping their brandies out of little glasses like this, because this really does kind of concentrate the aroma out of there. And a lot of the experts that do this will get a lot more taste and a lot more aroma than you ever will out of a glass like this. Just look at the difference in the gap at the top of the glasses. But this is the point I wanted to make in this video, because if you do sip brandy neat, don't think that is the only way you can drink it, because this is what brands have been doing a lot of work on, a lot of education. Heck, there are some brands that even advocate to add in a dash of water to a VSOP to really bring it to life. There is also another brand that I can think of that will quite happily ask you to serve their brandy over a couple of cubes of ice. Or there's even another one that I know of that says keep your brandy in the freezer. Now, of course, I'm not going to claim to lay any authority on that, and that really does give me good ammunition to create more videos and sort of see for myself different ways. The same brandy, can you enjoy it different ways? Can you enjoy it with an ice cube? Can you enjoy it with water? And I'm really looking doing those sort of videos to kind of find out. But for all of you experienced brandy drinkers that are enjoying joining me on this journey, comment below. How do you drink your brandy, and specifically the types of brandy as well? If you're an XO, like, do you just drink it neat like that? If you prefer your VSOPs, do you drink it with an ice cube? Let me know in the comments below. Now, if you want to know what my favorite brandy cocktail is, then let's jump into this video right here.